Okay, welcome back to our Python for Beginners series, and we have been talking about how to get started learning Python. And today we will be talking about control flow in Python. Now, control flow in Python allow us to control the order in which our code is executed. Now, this is possible because for certain conditions and then for executing different code depending on the outcome of those conditions, that is what the control flow allow us to do. And the most basic control flow is the if statement. Okay, now the if statement allow us to execute a block of code if a certain condition is met. Okay, so we can have a variable like this. Let's say age. Okay, let's say age equal to 18. Okay, let's say 18. So anybody that can vote is either 18 and above. So we are now checking that the user or the voter is older than 18. So what we do now, say age greater than or equal to 18. Okay, now when a voter is equal to or greater than 18, we are saying that the user is allowed, you are allowed to vote. Let's just say you are allowed to vote. All right, now, and in a situation where the user is not equal to 18 and he or she is below 18, what do? We now use the else statement to tell the user that okay, you can't vote. Okay, you are below the required age. So we say print, you are below the required age. You are below the required age. Okay, what's this? All right, so you are below the required age. So, and when we print, we will be having you are allowed to vote. Okay, but in a situation when we change it to 16, for example, we will have you are below the required age. Okay, so anybody that is equals to 18, now anybody that is equals to 18 or greater than 18 is the person that is allowed to vote. Now the age here is our condition. Okay, and then we are comparing it with the value. Okay, with this value here. Okay, it can be any number, but so long as it's not equal to or is not greater than 18, the system, the if statement, will not allow the user in. Now, what is even a condition? Now, a condition in this case, age, can either be a valid Python expression, okay, which can be used to compare values, a logical expression, or even check for specific value. In this case we are using the age and the 18 as we are using it to compare. Okay, now the else keyword here is used as a default. Okay, so if at any situation the condition, okay, is not met, then there is a default value to fall back in. I will explain it more as we dive in. All right, so the first one we have just looked at is the if statement. Now let's look at the if Elif or if else as it is called. Okay, so let's add the if else statement. Now, what does the if else statement do? Okay, so we say if. So instead of writing if else, okay, we don't do this in Python. What we do is Elif. Okay, so we say Elif, then we have our condition. So in this case we are using age, but should I continue with this? No, I need something more complex. So let's do grade. Okay, let's change this to grade. So we say grade equal to A. All right, so we say grade is equal to 8. Grade is equals to A. Okay, now we are now building an application that check for the age of our student. for the grade of our students. So we can now say if grade, okay, if grade is equal to A, okay, you should tell the user you scored A, okay, you scored A, you scored A, okay. Now else, if grade is equal to B, we will say you scored B, okay. We'll print to the user you scored B, print you scored B, you scored B, okay. And then we can also continue again. Elif, okay, Elif grade equal to C, okay, equal to C. You can tell the user you scored C, okay. Print you scored C, you scored C. All right, now, and it continue until we reach to where we want to stop, okay. So in a more complex code like this, where you are checking for different conditions, okay, that should be met, okay, you use the Elif, the else if statement, okay. Now C, so we have D, so say Elif grade equal to D, so you know D is pass. Pharaoh let my people go, so we can say print you scored D, so we can say you scored D. Then now any other value, any other score that is not in here, we will now tell the user you failed the exam. So we can tell the user you failed the exam, okay. So this is how it works. So when we run this code, it tells us you scored B. When we change this to, let's say, D, for example, okay, let's change it to D, okay, it tells the user you scored D, okay. But what if we now say F, for example? You know we don't have F here, so it tells the user you failed the exam. So the else statement is a fallback, it's a default, that if any of this condition is not met, this is what should happen. So that is why we have the else statement. And the Elif statement, this statement allow us to have multiple, okay, so just like when you want to have multiple conditions like this, okay, to create a more complex and more complex control flow, you will use the Elif, okay, which stand for else if. All right, now control flow statements are so powerful that it allows you to write a more complex and dynamic Python code. And this is just it for the control flow. Join me next time as we dive deeper into looking at looping, okay, in Python, how to loop in Python. So this is it. So to go over it again, we said that control flow, the most basic kind of control flow is the if statements, where we said that age can be equal to 18, and then we can check if anyone is greater than or equal to 18, okay, greater than or equal to 18, then we can tell the user you are allowed to vote, okay, you are allowed to vote, okay. And in a situation where that user is below the age, we can say else, okay, you can't vote. Okay, you can't vote. So this is how the else if statement. So when we run this code, guess, so the next one is going to say you are allowed to vote. The second one, you failed the exam because there's no F here and the age is equals to 18. So this is how the basic form of the control flow is the if statement and then the Elif. Okay, and I said that the condition here is the grade and we are using it to compare with different value. Join me next time, subscribe, share as I discuss looping in Python. Bye bye and take care.